Alright guys, welcome to your 21st UDK tutorial, and now that we know what collections are, let's go ahead and learn about packages. So in this tutorial, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys how to create your own custom packages and how to add things inside them like materials and stuff. So let's go ahead and actually create one right now, and before I get started I want to say this. When people typically make packages, they typically like to group similar objects in packages. For example, they want a package of sounds or a package of materials or static meshes. What we're going to be doing is, since we already know what materials are, let's go ahead and make a package for materials. So in order to make a new package, can you guess what one? Yep, create a new asset, and this is going to allow you to create a new package. So the package name, I'm just going to name mine. My package sounds kind of dumb. So, um, Bucky's awesome package. That kind of sounds sexual, but I kind of like it at the same time. So grouping, a group is pretty much like a way of organizing all your stuff. So go ahead and just type materials. It's not that important. Your name, just go ahead and this is actually going to be the name of your material itself. So I'm just going to name mine like crappy material 01. And for your factory, you need to select what you're going to be storing in your package. And of course, if I can find it, material right here. So this crappy material 1 is a name for a material. So go ahead and click OK. And now when you do, first you get this material editor that pops up, and we're going to go ahead and X out of that for now because we're not ready for that yet. The material editor is where you make your material, but like I said, we're not ready for that yet. So by default, whenever we hit OK, the material editor popped up, and behind that, it took us to our package. So as you can see, in new packages right here, we got a package called Bucky's Awesome Package, and our group is materials, and inside our group we have our material, which is called crappy material. And by the way, this little asterisk next to Bucky's Awesome Package means that you created a package with a material in it, but you didn't save it yet. So make sure you go ahead and save it, and you do that by right clicking it and press save. And now just go ahead and it verifies where you want to save it, and now you can see the asterisks disappear. So that's all the asterisk means. Make sure you save it, or else when you exit the UDK, you're not going to have it. So that is how you create a new package and add a new material to it. But say you already have a package created. So I already created this package. I want to add a new material in this package. Anytime I already have a package created and now I want to add an additional material, just go ahead and right click anywhere in here and click new material. There I go, right there. And I could add a new material. But for now, I'm just going to stick with our one material. Don't want to jump ahead of ourselves. So in order to open that material editor, what we can do is we could have not X'd out of it, but I want to X out of it because I want to show you guys how to access it. Anytime you want to work with a material in the material editor, go ahead and select your material in the content browser and go ahead and just double click it. And whenever you double click it, this thing called the material editor is going to pop up. Now the material editor is where we create our own custom materials. Pretty cool, huh? So let me give you guys a quick overview of the material editor. In the upcoming tutorials, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to add textures and how to add, make your materials different colors and shiny and stuff like that. But for now, I'll just give you guys a quick overview because, I have some extra time, I might as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is this toolbar right up here. Now, just like when I was covering the UDK in general, a lot of these tools we're not ready. I'm basically going to be covering them as we go along. So eventually we're going to know what all these tools mean. But some of this stuff like toggle real-time material viewport, we're not even close to learning what that is yet. So instead of overwhelming you guys with like toggle expression real-time previews, I'm just going to say these are tools that we're going to be covering later on. Now, this black pane right here, this is called the preview pane or the preview window, I guess whatever you want to call it. And whenever we create a material, we can preview it in 3D on a 3D model. For example, if we made a material of wood, we can go ahead and draw a sphere and it would show us what the material wood would look like on a sphere. So it's pretty much just a preview pane, and that's why it says preview up there. Pretty cool, huh? Now this big gray panel with this window floating around is called the materials expression window or panel. I'm just going to call them panels. So without getting too in depth for now, expressions are pretty much formulas that pretty much give you a value and they allow you to change the appearance of your material. Now, again, I'm going to be getting in this later, but here's your material right here, and here are all the different aspects or attributes of it. The diffuse is the general color. The emissive is like the glow. The specular is how shiny it is. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing in a formula like this. And this formula is going to like output the number 7. I just want to say that for a quick example. And now when we give the value of 7 to your diffuse, it's going to like turn it blue or something. So this pretty much outputs something and changes one of the attributes. And again, that was a pretty bad example. I know I didn't really. I'm just giving you guys a real quick example. So anyways, that's what the material expressions pane does. If you don't understand it, then you probably shouldn't because that was a pretty terrible example. But over here is the expressions list. This is pretty much all the formulas that you can have. And by the way, I want to mention this. The reason you need formulas instead of just constant numbers is, say this. You have a material that you want to apply to a spaceship. Well, we can apply the color red to it or the color blue to it and it will stay red or blue forever. But whenever you're playing a game, you don't always want to apply a constant color, so that's why you need formulas. A formula can change its value. So you're saying, alright, why would I want a material that changes its value? Well, say you were modeling a spaceship or something, and you had green lights on it, but anytime that spaceship got shot, the lights you might want to make turn red or something. Or maybe you had a gun, and whenever you fired it, the material would change to like a glowing fire material. So that's why it has all these different properties, and these formulas can change the properties as we go along. So you see what I'm saying? You see why we don't just apply a constant value to these attributes right here. We actually need a formula to change those values if need be. So with that being said, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is this expression list down here. Now this, excuse me, this was the expression list right over here. This down here is the properties panel. Now the properties panel, whenever you don't have anything selected, like here's a formula right here, whenever I'm just going to deselect everything, it gives you all your properties of your material that you're working on. And since we don't even have a material we made yet, it's not going to show us a whole lot of stuff, but whenever we do, we can adjust some of these settings. It's pretty much allow you to adjust the settings of your material. However, once you have one of these things called an expression selected, it allows you to edit the properties of that expression. So depending on what you have selected, if you have nothing selected, it's just your general material properties. If you have an expression selected, it gives you the properties of that expression. And again, I know you guys don't know what expressions or properties or any of these attributes mean yet, but trust me, I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of this material editor, and by the end of these next like 3 tutorials, you guys are going to be a pro at this. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.